Welcome to 3CR, Raising Our Voices, 8:55 a.m. Today we are talking about the Disability Royal Commission issues paper on promoting inclusion, and I'd like to acknowledge the Kulin Nations, true owners, custodians of the land in which we're broadcasting. I'd like to pay respects to elders past and present, and I'd like to acknowledge that a treaty was never signed and sovereignty was never ceded. I'd like to also welcome our guests today. We have Lisa Brumtis from Brain Injury Matters.
Hi, guys.
She's with us in the studio. And we have Jack Richardson from Rainbow Rights.
Hello.
We've got Chris Bolton from Having a Say Bendigo and Reinforce.
Hi. And hi.
And we've got Norrie Blythman from Reinforce.
Yes, you certainly have.
That's great. So today we're talking about the issues paper that was released by the Disability Royal Commission in December about promoting inclusion for people with disability in Australia. And just a bit of a preamble about that. On their website, they talk about inclusion means everyone is included. Everyone can take part in our community. Inclusion is good for people with disability and the whole community. But what does inclusion really mean? Does it mean caring for each other? When you go to the shop, people don't treat you differently, or you're treated respectfully? Do you feel included at the library, maybe, but not at the supermarket? What does it really mean for you? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And the Disability Royal Commission wants people to respond to this issue paper by the 4th of June this year. So that's what we're talking about at the moment. It's current, and they're asking for feedback until June, 4th of June. So I'm wanting to go into the topics now. What does inclusion mean to you? How about Lisa? What do you think?
Inclusion. Now, I could answer this in two ways. What it means, like as a word, which means that we're all together, in it together. Very COVID, but we're all in it together. And what it actually means practically, which means we're all in this together when it suits us.
I see what you mean. What about Norrie? What do you think about inclusion means for you?
Basically, I did a project to the commissioner, a whole lot of my story apparently, and the commissioner accepted that. It was great. And I had good feedback on that.
That's awesome.
It was a lot. It was nearly 4.5 pages I did, and I did that with Pam Geegan.
Yes. Okay. Jack, what about you? What does inclusion mean for you?
Inclusion meeting is about, for me, it's about connecting with other people. Because it's hard for other people to connect.
Yeah.
Especially with the COVID.
Oh, definitely.
We're not meant to be connecting then.
Not physically. Lucky we've got technology, and we can use things like Zoom meetings, and we've got the telephone.
Oh, yes,
and also
thank God.
Video calls.
Yes.
Yeah, but without those, we'd be a lot more isolated than we are.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah.
What about for you? What does inclusion mean for you?
Everybody being equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Australia is an inclusive society? And maybe why? Why is, if yes or no, why? And do you think Australia includes you?
It's in some places in Australia, it would include people with disabilities, At some places it may not.
Depending on what people's general ideas, perhaps?
Yeah, probably that.
General stance on life.
Yeah. What about you, Norrie? What do you think? Does Australia include you?
Yes, and I think everyone should be equal in my way of thinking, yes.
Okay. And Jack?
I also agree. For me, it's probably we're not, for some reason, we're not out there like as much. Like for the rainbow rights and like in LGBTIQ community as well. I'm not seeing like we're not out there, so we're not including. So,
would you say in sometime like when you go to the library you feel included, but the supermarket you don't? Is there different places that you go where you do or don't feel that way?
yes. So sometimes when I go out somewhere, they don't include other people who have like disabilities. So I think for me it's good. I think it should be out there where people should be included on any like all of us should be included and treat us equal.
Yeah, great thoughts. Norrie, what do you think? Do you find that some places you go you do feel more included than others?
In a way, yes, you do. You feel more included in other in things you can do, yes.
Anyone else?
You're not left on a pedestal on your own. You know, you do something that you feel like doing, which is good.
Lisa, what do you think?
I think you feel included when you actually are with people who are like-minded and with like kind of life situations. Outside that, not really.
Okay. So the next question, do you think decisions the Australian government make include people with disability? Lisa, what do you think about that?
Not really. They may include them officially so they can be politically correct whilst making the decision. But in practice, no.
Okay. Do you think decisions the Australian government make include people with disability?
No.
Jack?
Not really. Because they give money. I reckon the government gives more to other people who, like richer people, instead of the people who actually need it. So like the LGBTIQ community. So we can get activities going with the LGBTIQ community. So it's not fair on the others who don't get a lot of stuff, a lot of activities doing.
Norrie, what do you think? Do you think the government makes decisions that include people with disability?
Yes, I would say they would. Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Okay.
It would include, well, everyone's equal in my way of thinking, because I think disability should be included. You know, everybody should be equal.
Yes, they should. But are they?
Chris, what about you? What are your thoughts?
Why are they?
I think that the government needs to learn a bit more about people with disabilities.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would agree with your comment there. Okay, let's go to a song break. Over to you, Lisa.
You're on 3CR, 8:55 a.m, raising our voices, and we'll be listening to What I Like About You by The Romantics.
What I like about you, you hold me
So you've been listening to 3CR Raising Our Voices, 8:55 a.m. That track was What I Like About You by the Romantics. And today we're talking about the Disability Royal Commission into Violence, Abuse, Exploitation and Neglect. We're talking about the issues paper that they've released in December, asking for comments from people with disabilities in Australia about promoting inclusion. So we've been talking with Lisa Brumtis from Brain Injury Matters, Jack Richardson from Rainbow Rights, Chris Bolton from Having a Say Bendigo and Reinforce, Norrie Blythman from Reinforce, and I'm Bronwyn from Armida. What are the barriers and challenges to inclusion with disability? What makes it hard and what makes you feel included?
So in barriers,
Yeah.
wise,
Yep.
probably, I reckon for Rainbow Rights on barriers, it's more, how to say no to other people. Because I think some people understand with people who have disabilities, they don't understand what no is.
Mm.
So, you have to say it in a polite way and not a really aggressive way.
Yes.
And so they understand. Even with deaf people who can't hear, you can always use sign language
True.
to help them.
And what makes you feel included? Can you remember a time when when you felt really included, and what's made that different?
Probably, when I'm included to other stuff with work.
Yeah.
Like I have a say.
Right. You feel like your voice is heard.
Yes, my voice is heard, and that's a really cool thing because people will listen to you and get feedback from the other people.
I see. What do you think about that, Lisa?
I'm thinking, God, he's lucky. Because I don't think I've ever felt included. Because when I haven't been disabled, I've still been female.
Yeah. So you felt excluded from being female?
Not excluded. What's the word? Discriminated against.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to talk more about that?
I don't think, to be honest, I don't think I'm really up to being the real feminist today. Because there's just so much there. There's just so very much there. I wouldn't know where to begin, and I certainly wouldn't know how to move on from there.
Okay.
But it's real.
Do you feel more included when you're at work?
Yes, I do. But I work in a really cool place.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier.
A hell of a lot easier.
When people make an effort to make you feel comfortable.
And I don't think they're making an effort. I just think it's part of who they are.
Okay. What would make you feel like you are fully included? Does it mean people care about you?
Not necessarily, I don't believe. Well, they care in that they don't want to see any harm come towards you. But that is about as far as it goes, I believe.
Jack, what about you? What would make you feel fully included? Does it mean people care about you?
Probably not necessarily. Sometimes I feel like you just sometimes have to really get, take care of yourself. Like, as in, you need to start, or what's the word I'm looking for? Probably get yourself instead of having others to include. For yourself, you want to be if you want to be included, you want to interact with other people.
So is that like feeling confident in yourself and interacting?
Yes.
Okay. So it's up to people as well to feel that confidence and to fully interact with your friends, family, people that you might meet.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about? And you can say anything you like about about the topic of inclusion. I'm hoping that people listening today will be also considering making feedback, which is open until the 4th of June, about this topic. It's a really important topic.
Yes.
What would you like to say?
Probably for the people who don't feel like they can get spoken out to, just be yourself and don't let anyone say you can't speak for yourself.
That's awesome. Really awesome. What do you think, Lisa? And you can say anything that your thoughts are really important.
I'm so very disappointed in humanity because this is what it's come to. That a subject for me shouldn't need to be talked about, discussed, but has to be in order so it can be kind of taken, put attention to. So
you're saying, really, we shouldn't have to talk about inclusion. It should we should do it. Yeah, people should feel included because
they're people, and this is humanity. I'm so disappointed in humanity.
Like awareness and how educated people might be about different disabilities.
And it's not a matter of disability. It's just a matter of being different.
And being human.
Because there is absolutely, I suppose, identical twins, but even they're different, one from the other.
Yeah, there can be even slight differences.
Yeah. So, and it's really sad that we have to talk about a subject that I believe should just be. Like, we should all just accept each other for who we are, whatever that is. Unless, of course, you're a shithead. Oh, was that loud?
You can say whatever you like. It's okay. Within reason.
Within reason, then, if you're a shithead.
Okay, Lisa and Jack, what do you think is the reason why we need to talk about inclusion?
Because sometimes it's not out there. It's people are shy to say what they need to say. They need to start thinking of not especially talk to probably need to include get involved.
Yep. Yeah, right. Okay. What are your thoughts, Lisa?
Why we need to talk about it. To be honest, I can't understand why we have to bring more attention to it. But then on the other hand, it should be such a natural thing anyway. Why do we need to bring attention to it? And
including in all areas, so family, friends.
It doesn't matter, just inclusion.
In community, yeah. So the Royal Commission has been going on for some time now. It's going for 3 years. I have seen in the media there's been some questions about extending the time frame, giving people more time to put in submissions. How are we all going with the Royal Commission? We're hoping that things will improve from the Commission. I'm certainly hoping for that, and I'm putting in a submission myself. I've been working on it, and I know a lot of people are wanting to see some changes for the future. What do you think, Lisa?
Well, I put in my submission about 2 years ago. I keep on forgetting that last year was not really a year.
Because of COVID,
yes.
Lockdowns.
We were all here, but we weren't here. And I've had really little response to it. So I've kind of lost faith in the whole process.
I'm hoping that, there will be recommendations made out of the Commission from the submissions that everybody has put in that will make changes for the future. I'm really hoping. Otherwise, we're just doing it for the process of doing it, and we're not getting anything out. I really do hope that we see some changes from the recommendations.
From your mouth to God's ears.
I'm hoping that we do. And for listeners out there, if you're in the process of your submission, if you've already made one, just keep the faith. It's nothing about us without us. We're a radio show for people with disabilities, run by people with disabilities. We're in it together, and I'm hoping that we'll get something out of this.
That would be ideal, but we'll see.
We at AMIDA are continuing to do individual advocacy and also systemic advocacy. So we're taking individual cases around housing and also NDIS appeals. I know, Lisa, your work with Brain Injury Matters, you're continuing to do advocacy there and self-advocacy.
Yes, we're trying to, but brain injury generally is such a kind of hidden disability.
Yes.
That you may have it and you may really... you might have really bad symptoms, but nobody knows why.
Yeah. There are so many different disabilities and...
within the one disability.
Yes. And, AMIDA came out of a grassroots organisation just like this, with people discussing what needs to change and advocating. So individual advocacy, our cases we're working on continuously. We're also doing systemic advocacy around the Royal Commission, around housing, around the National Construction Code, which has just recently been mandated for all new buildings to be accessible to silver level.
What does silver level mean?
Yeah, so the Australian Building Code Board has just recently made a decision, well, the ministers have made a decision to make buildings more accessible. AMIDA asked for gold level accessibility, which is a list of things for buildings to be made. I don't have the list on me at the moment. They agreed to silver level, which is a little bit less than what we hoped for, but it's great that there has been a change made for accessible buildings to be built. That's what we like to see. That's only really recent, and we continue to work on systemic advocacy like this. Upcoming will be the Disability Act review early next year. We've also put in a submission recently for the Disability State Plan. So keep advocating. Self-advocates out there, keep advocating. We're not stopping with our advocacy. We're hoping to see better changes.
3CR's annual Radiothon fundraiser launches in June, and this year we're asking you to be part of community-powered radio. It's only with your support that we're able to be independent, community-controlled, and focused on people rather than profits.
Your support during Radiothon powers the station to give voice to hundreds of people and issues for another year.
And remember, any amount you can afford makes a big difference, and all donations over $2 are tax deductible.
3CR Radiothon. Show your support during June 2021.
3CR Community Powered Radio.
Tune in to Billabong Beats Tuesdays at 11 a.m. with me, Gavin Moore, giving a voice to both Western Kulin and Kulin First Nations peoples. Join me to talk about philosophy and Dreamtime stories surrounding the waterhole, the sacred fire, the land, the plants and animals. Billabong Beats, 11 a.m. Tuesdays on 3CR.
Today we're talking about the Royal Commission. You're on 3CR, Raising Our Voices, 8:55 a.m. The Disability Royal Commission, it's been going on for a while now. It's going for 3 years, and it's asking people to provide feedback, submissions about their own lives, what they might have experienced, any kind of violence, abuse, neglect, exploitation. And in particular, we're talking about promoting inclusion There's an issues paper that was released in December, just in case you've just tuned in. We were talking about this earlier. It was released in December, and the Royal Commission is asking for responses from individuals and organisations by the 4th of June. After this date, any comments about the issues paper can be made via the submission process. And responses to the issue paper can be provided either electronically to DRC Inquiries with an E at royalcommission.gov.au or in writing to GPO Box 1422 Brisbane, Queensland 4001, or by phone. There's a 1800 number here, 1800 517 199, or 07 3734 1900, 07 3734 1900, and the Commission can make a time with you to take your response over the phone, Monday to Friday, excluding national public holidays. People can also make an audio recording or a video recording, and responses can be in any language. The Royal Commission will translate the response to English, and they also will make your response public unless you ask for it not to be public. If you want it to be private, you can make that clear. So, wrapping up our discussion today, thank you very much to Lisa Brumtis from Brain Injury Matters.
That's okay. Thank you.
To Jack Richardson from Rainbow Rights.
Thank you.
We also had Chris Bolton from Having a Say Bendigo and Reinforce, and Norrie Blythman from Reinforce. And we lost them in a supermarket, a big shopping centre somewhere. So thank you to both of you for joining us today. Tune in next month to 3CR Raising Our Voices for our next show. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Look forward to next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to a 3CR podcast produced in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au.